dig it!
Ladies, gentlemen, friends, foes, lurkers, regulars, GMO people, organic people.
Boiler room. Inbound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the boiler room. You know those terms and conditions nobody reads? Maybe we should have read them. Because somewhere buried in the fine print, apparently we agreed to a world where your government can monitor political groups, prosecutors can go hunting for journalist sources, corporations can experiment with algorithms that potentially decide what price you see at the grocery store and elsewhere. And artificial intelligence requires an industrial infrastructure consuming staggering amounts of power, water, and land. And that's before we get to the electric shock gloves, cyber attacks against water systems, military intelligence, Iran, Israel, and an aircraft carrier named the Abraham Lincoln sailing straight into tonight's rundown. We were promised that technology would make life more convenient. And it did. But convenience came with sensors. Sensors came with data. Data came with algorithms. Algorithms came with decisions. And increasingly, nobody seems quite sure who is actually making those decisions anymore. Government? Corporations? Intelligence agencies? An algorithm? Perhaps some combination of all four? Tonight, we're going digging through the fine print because apparently terms and conditions apply. Welcome to the Boiler Room. I'm Brian McLean, also known as Hesher, broadcasting live out of Central Texas on this August 14th, 2026. We're live on YouTube, Rumble, and X tonight, so hello, if you're out there in those chat rooms, feel free to drop us some comments. We'll try to keep our eye on the comments threads. While we go through it tonight, we got a number of narratives, headlines, stories, psyops. I don't know, whatever you want to classify them as. Maybe all the above. But yeah, let's do it. Let's get Mystical Pharaoh aboard here with us because tonight we're going to be talking about terms and conditions. So, Mystical Pharaoh, welcome back to the Boiler Room. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. I am as good as I can be for a world just wrapped in red tape and terms and conditions that even if I read, I wouldn't be able to remember or follow the updates.
I think we're wrapped in more than red tape, man.
Yeah.
Or maybe red tape laced with weed and stupidity drugs and I don't know, something.
Yeah, a torrent of psyops, a avalanche of pharmaceuticals, and enough blue light to make your eyes bug out of your head.
Yeah, it's almost like they laced that red tape with like LSD or something that just put you in a different realm. So.
They never told us that the red tape was going to be laced with LSD, did they?
They did not.
Yeah, not only your AI hallucinates, but your media hallucinates too, apparently.
Yes, that's right.
All right, man. Great to have you aboard. Let's welcome Ruckus to the stage. We got the Ruckus among us. Here he comes. Ruckus.
Did somebody say blue light?
Ooh, see the pretty blue light.
It's like Matrix in here, right? The red pill, blue pill, and then Whatever Pharaoh's got, I'll take that pill. I'll have what he's having.
Yeah, I think the green
yeah.
pill looks pretty good, man.
Giggity,
Looks-
giggity, giggity. Yeah, anyways, thanks for having me. A lot of probably black pills this evening. We did a lot of the fun stuff last week. It's time to do the serious nightmare-inducing stuff this week, right?
Yeah, let's get to the Panopticon. I mean, how can
Sure.
we not? We had a lot of fun last week. If you missed last week's episode, we cleared the icebreaker channel out. So we had as much fun and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot moments as we could last week. This week, we're going to dive into some of the pithier stuff. So let's just get right into it. Let's start with Luigi Mangione. Of course, the man accused of murder in New York. Let's get this on the screen so everybody can see it here.
You'll have to be more specific. There's lots of murders that happen in New York, from what I understand.
Yeah, right?
I'm just kidding. Everyone remembers this guy, right?
Yeah. Mangione entered a guilty plea on Friday in the federal case tied to the shooting death of healthcare executive nearly 2 years ago. And this guilty plea is now generating questions about what will happen with his state murder trial scheduled to get underway in just 3 weeks. So he has admitted to killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson back in December of 2024. He pleaded guilty to federal charges of interstate stalking resulting in death and stalking through use of interstate facilities resulting in death. And both of those that he pled guilty to carry a maximum potential sentence of life in prison, which apparently he has acknowledged in the courtroom. But he's also facing state charges of second-degree murder and weapons and forgery charges. A first-degree murder charge was tossed out in September of 25. And his lawyers have repeatedly argued that the state trial amounted to double jeopardy. It's a claim that what they will likely pursue even more aggressively now that he's pleaded to the federal charges. So that's pretty much the update there on the Mangione case. And I'm sure most of you remember that he did receive a little bit of that thing that we often think these type of psychos are looking for, which is notoriety. He did kind of become, I don't want to say a champion, but there are elements out there that seem to support his actions, which is beyond me. But people are pretty upset about the state of insurance. People are upset with that particular insurance provider. There's a lot of grudges out there to be had by people who claim to have been mistreated in the medical community or be family members of people who were treated poorly in the insurance setup. So yeah, that's the update there. I don't know what else to say about it other than keep an eye on this one because he's probably going to end up with life in prison. And I would begin to think that a lot of these other charges, his lawyers may have a point. Some of these other charges might be considered double jeopardy, and looks like he's going to be going away for life. At least that would be my guess. What do you suspect might happen, Ruckus?
This one has always been strange to me. It never appealed to me, this vigilante against, yes, he's going way to fight against the system by murdering someone in cold blood.
Yeah.
That's usually not the way we do things here in America. And it's just like, but like you said, it created like this weird, this culture around it, almost like it was trying to, in real life, create that what we see in the movies, like Natural Born Killers, or even to a small degree. What was that Joan of Arc 80s movie where she was like a singer or something? Do you remember what was that freaking movie back in the day?
No
Billie
idea.
Jean. Anyway, it was a Joan of Arc type story. Anyways, somebody out there probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, in real life, it didn't seem to work. And I thought the guy might have actually been innocent and stitched up somehow and framed a patsy. I don't know. It's all very strange. But everyone focused on the dude with the eyebrows and the fact that women were like, oh, he's cute and he's the hot killer. All this weird shit about this one. So I don't know. I don't really have like a dog in the fight necessarily. But check this out. It is interesting that they're going to go ahead and throw the book at the guy, and that's what it seems like they're doing for some strange reason, while Anthony Fauci seems to be getting away with what he's getting away with at the exact same time, So that doesn't seem to match to me. I don't know.
Hesher, you're muted.
Oh, The Legend of Billie Jean, perhaps the movie you were thinking of?
That one. Yes.
Yeah, Sage Morrison threw you a line there in Discord. Thanks, Sage. Yeah, Pharaoh, what about you, man? I mean, that was just a cold-blooded murder right there. They have it on film, I believe.
That's why I'm like, did he have any other option other than going in a guilty plea?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is on film, like killing him, like what's his defense? Like claiming insanity, maybe.
Right.
Whatever it is, it just he killed him. Period. Right. Yeah, the whole thing of trying to make him like as Hesher, as Ruckus was saying, making him a hero, right? That never sat well with me, right?
Yeah.
Nobody kills someone and this way and becomes a hero.
No, I'm sorry about that. Like, if you thought that was a good idea, you better take a look in the mirror, probably.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all what I have to say about it. I mean, honestly, like, okay, he got a guilty plea, and I mean, if it was me, I'm actually big proponent is the right word. Believer in death sentence in case of like cold blood murder, especially if there is intention to do that, right? Like first degree murderers. It just I don't believe in keeping people in prison for life. Let's put it that way. Why do I have to pay someone to be in prison for life?
Yeah, I hear you. I think a lot of taxpayers look at what that costs nationwide and statewide in their own states and probably feel that way. I was thinking, like, my last thought on this is, well, it seems like a shrewd legal tactic to not have your client end up in death penalty, but guess what? New York doesn't have the death penalty.
They don't.
I mean, what's the point of all this? He's going to go to jail for life anyways, so who really cares, I guess.
Exactly. So I just don't know.
Hesher, do you know what they do to people who murder healthcare CEOs in prison?
They make them gang leaders?
Never mind.
Yeah.
Which I guess I should inject the black pill here, because there is one instance where perhaps individually we or you out there might feel differently. And there's been real instances of this. A famous one, I know Creative Accidents knows who I'm speaking of, but I don't remember the guy's name or the specific date, but well known, caught on film murdering in cold blood a PDF who did something terrible to, I believe, the person's child. So, I mean, if it's, somebody does something to your kid, I mean, I don't think that person was seeking fame. They were just doing what they felt needed to be done. And I think they turned themselves in. They weren't trying, you know what I mean? This was completely different. So again, there is that. I know some of you out there might be thinking it. So, and then it's very also interesting to me because I see a lot of, the MAGA, not necessarily MAGA, but like Republicans in particular who are like, yes, send this guy death penalty to this and that, and taking our side a little bit on this. But at the same time, they go praise that vigilante movie that came out, which was apparently not that was serving some other political narrative, I believe, of division and whatnot. But anyway.
Which one?
What was it called? Do you know what I'm talking about, Hesher?
I know the movie. I can't pull the name out of my head right now, though.
I think it was made by was it Angel Studio or somebody, one of these ultra super right wing conservative kind of things. It was not. It was people didn't like it, from what I understand.
Some people did, and some people didn't. Let's see. Was that Citizen Vigilante? Yeah, I believe it's called Citizen Vigilante. Produced, written, and directed by Yui Boll. Stars Armie Hammer as Michael Sanders, a vigilante enraged by the breakdown of law and order, who targets criminals, rapists, most of whom are migrants, and the corrupt officials who protect them. So people people are cautious about the purpose of that film. I'll put it that way, because it does sort of light that Tommy Robinson sort of fuse in the mind of viewers, and there is a political motivation for that. Aaron,
Boy, I don't watch movies anymore.
yeah, Aaron Spencer is the one you were referring to there, I believe. Ruckus, dad who killed daughter's alleged molester. Earlier this year wins Republican primary for Lonoke County Sheriff. How about that?
That is not the person I'm thinking of, but
Well,
anyways.
here's another example of that type of person. Yeah, he'd been arrested less than a year prior and charged with murder for allegedly shooting and killing 67-year-old Michael Fosler after discovering him with Spencer's missing daughter, then 13 years old. So, yeah, very interesting.
Oh, maybe.
Stuff. Might be. Did he win? Let's see here. Says
Not if AIPAC had anything to do with us.
Yeah. If convicted, Arkansas law would bar him from holding elected office. How old is this? March 4th, 2026. So, yeah, I don't know if there's an update on this or not, but that's a similar story, if not the one you were thinking of.
Well, how about that? So maybe Mangione will get out eventually on good behavior or something, right? And he can run for political office.
Yeah, he could run for political office.
Sheriff.
In 20 years or something. Wouldn't that be interesting? All right. Let's go to the next one. Next one, oh boy. David J. Beer posts, this isn't going to be some anomalous method of arresting people. They will be shocking people like this as a matter of course. So here you go. I'll just play the video.
Oh! I scream like a little girl and pee myself. Go back with the glove.
I'm going to go ahead and mute that. I don't need music playing on here. So there you go. Shocking news. Shock gloves. One of my favorite things about this post is that it's hard to find favorite things about, but is the comments. Peter Kelly says, see this instinctive reaction? They'll claim you're reaching for their firearm and use that as a pretext to shoot you. There's something to think about. Ready for Change says they're already reported as being approved for use in Omaha schools. And they provide a headline there. The electric shock glove gives ICE spending up to $20 million on are already being given to police officers in Omaha public schools by Sasha Rogelberg. And let's see. The comments on this are just you could read them almost all day. Karina says ICE doesn't even need them, or they would have been using tasers instead of guns. These taser gloves are for entertainment purposes, and they seem to be very entertained. This one you gotta love. It's only a matter of time. It's got a cop standing in front of the urinal.
Given how dumb they are, I wouldn't.
Right? Don't whiz on the electric glove.
Let's not forget the TikTok challenges. You know that'll happen.
Oh yeah. So for you cops out there, if you get issued these electric gloves, don't let your teen children find them. They might do a TikTok challenge with them.
So is there a difference between that and the taser?
Yes.
Yes. I
Yes.
gave you a link to their website if you want to look at it, what they say about the technology. It's incredibly different.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at that.
I'll bring that up. But first of all, I know that a taser has prongs in it, and a taser can go through your clothes, unless you're wearing like a leather jacket or something like that, or a big puffy
Uh-huh.
jacket. Whereas these require skin contact.
Mm-hmm.
This is noteworthy. The OCP Omni Consumer Products. The logo on the floor is literally the evil tech warfare company from RoboCop. It is quite
That's
similar.
not there. It's similar, but that's not them. They're called compliant technologies, but I see what they're saying.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let me bring your link up here. So, if we go and look at the corporate website here,
By the way, for a company that's getting all this attention and scoring all these lucrative contracts, they have a pretty shitty website, just a heads up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Compliant Technologies. You can see the similarity in the logo there. Generated low output voltage emitter, GLOVE, for those of you acronym hunters. That's what the acronym is. Quickly transforms into a conductive distraction and de-escalation device, or a CD3 if you want to use the jargon, when used within the force continuum to supplement existing tools for law enforcement, corrections, security, EMS, and the military. So, first off, just imagine you're a sales rep for this company. What a great pool you have to fish from. Yeah, call any law enforcement, corrections, security, EMS, or military bases and see if you can sell our product. So, for you sales folks out there, that might be something that's easy to sell and gain commissions on, but might not be good for your constitution. See what I did there? It is available as an invisible partner. Ooh, in quotes, more jargon, to enhance the user's effectiveness when operating within their agency's already established tactics, techniques, and procedures. I'm surprised they didn't put TTPs next to that. This is why we call the glove the force multiplier. So look at that. They have terms and conditions there. Maybe we should stop and read them all. But yeah, that is a pretty crap website, Ruckus.
Their terms and conditions, too, are shorter than what you use on a daily basis, I assure you.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. Boom. Read them. Yep. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Read, accept. Right. That's how terms and conditions work these days. So, I'm already.
So the technology, because it's hidden here. So that stands for that what you said, the conductive distraction de-escalation device. So the technology, the current, it's so low that the simulation can't go through all of that stuff, right? Here's how it works. It is the electrical pulses. They affect the sense of touch within the peripheral nervous system. These signals are then carried directly to the central nervous system. This is their own words. The discomfort associated with the stimulation is usually effective in bringing individuals into compliance in less than 3 seconds. Here's my favorite part. It leaves no burns, marks, or scars. Yay. Which means you basically can't, do you have any evidence that you were abused, sir? I guess you don't. Uh-oh.
No glove, no love, as far as evidence that you've been manhandled. That was a good question there. Someone in the chat saw this and said, electrified nunchucks? No, I had the same question, but apparently the glove sticks are just for inhibiting bacteria growth in your GLOVE for 10 years and to neutralize unpleasant odors and absorb moisture. So I guess you need to
How
set
long are
it.
you out there wearing these things for it to get that bad?
I don't know. How long is the riot gear on some of these people where they need a custom nunchuck glove sticks bacteria growth inhibitor?
How long has this product been out there in the market and we just aren't aware of it?
Well, that's one of the things that I was wondering, because this to me sounds like the kind of thing you might find in, I don't know, certain gulags or administrative detention facilities, perhaps. And, you know, you can't help but your mind go wild thinking about all the different ways in which you could shock someone with this product.
I'm sure it would be fun to do a deep dive into the owner or creator of this product, but we can probably guess what roads that leads to.
Yeah, pretty sure I saw something about that. So more non-lethal compliance technologies, just what we needed. Who asked for this? Who was like, you know what, we need some shock gloves. That would be great. That would really help us with our tactics, techniques, and procedures. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I'd have to see some training on how they actually use these. Like, do you just wear them all the time, and then do you hit a button to go into shocky mode, or do you make a hand signal, or swipe left? Like, are they always
Well,
on?
it says that there's an app. No, I'm just kidding. But maybe it works alongside your brain chip or your smartwatch or something.
Yeah, I can see it now. Cop pulls out his little app. Hold on right there. Let me. Zzz. Yeah. So more technology that we didn't need.
Wouldn't it be interesting if there's a major backlash against this, because it does seem to be quite an abusive product, or could be abused, or it's just like it's just gnarly and nasty and devious enough that it could cause enough backlash, especially right now because everyone's upset about enough already about the flock surveillance stuff, the Axon cameras, the data centers, AI. This could just push them over the edge, but maybe that's the point. Maybe they want, well, see, we just need to okay, we can't have these thug cops out there running around with these damn power gloves zapping everybody and they're shooting people. So it's time to get them out and roll in with the new way of doing things, people. It's for your safety, of course, and bringing the robots and the surveillance down even harder. But because people are railing against the surveillance, we do need the people on board with the surveillance. The only way to get the people behind surveillance is if it means that prevents people from being abused and shot by cops. Just pointing out the obvious, that's all.
Silvertail 1947 says, I've seen tasers fail on big men. These mittens, rolling, laughing, will give the pigs a false sense of security. They can't fight. That's why they need mittens now. Ouch. I've seen that too, man. And there's even one guy, like if you watch that whole video, there's one guy that it does not seem to affect as much as the others. Kind of had a few people in the comments wondering, okay, are some of these test subjects kind of hamming it up a little bit? Is it really that bad, or did was that one guy just salty enough to kind of stand there and take it for a minute?
Who made that comment? That's my kind of conspiracy theorist right there.
No, officer, I'm not carrying a deadly weapon. These are bacterial inhibitors. There you go. Right? They got to be carrying those things around in their back pockets and using them for nunchuck compliance, right? They're not just carrying those around to get the stink out of their glove. You can't just call it a glove. All right, so that's out there. That's fun. All right, let's go to the White House and the Supreme Court here. Because the ballroom fight is real, unfortunately. So here we go. Trump asked Supreme Court to intervene in White House ballroom legal fight. So the administration has asked the Supreme Court on Friday to intervene and allow him to construct the new 90,000 square foot ballroom. Oh my gosh, that's huge. It's bigger than I was expecting. In place of the demolished White House East Wing, the request for emergency relief to the Supreme Court was 1 week after a federal appeals court ruled the White House lacked authority to build the $400 million project without congressional approval. So, in a filing with the court, Solicitor General D. John Sauer asked the justices to pause a lower court ruling that blocked above ground construction while the legal battle over the project plays out. It's funny how quickly the White House administration can get cases into the Supreme Court compared to normal people, isn't it?
It's not what you know, it's who you know, Hesher.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently it is. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but
What's the damn rush? Why is, again, with not just Trump and his ball, which is just code word for an underground bunker, obviously.
Yeah.
We all figured this out by now, and they've admitted it. Why are they obsessed with everybody needs to hurry up and get their damn bunkers going? All the billionaires are doing this. We had Peter Thiel abandon ship and all that. So I don't know. It's concerning. There seems to be a bit of a rush here with Trump.
Yeah. Do they know something we don't know? They need the bunker.
That's the question that it leaves you with. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Or going along the lines of that earlier aforementioned conspiracy thinking way, we could suggest, or is that what they want us to think? Yeah. There's always that.
Yeah.
And they could just be doing anything with that money, or, I mean, because they could also just be like, sucking up as much money as possible. I mean, like, again, why? What do they know that we don't know? Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. And clearly that has been a theme since 2020, just this consolidation of resources and assets and massive building of projects that don't make sense. With an urgency, with an unexplained urgency. Like the only
aliens
reason
are coming.
The only reason they can give us is, we got to keep up with China, or we got to watch out for Iran. I mean, come on, you guys have been spitting us those lines for decades now. So, ballroom. Pharaoh, do you think we're going to get invites to the ballroom after all our analysis? They're going to prove it's a ballroom after they actually build it? I mean, they're going to show us a party down there? They're going to invite the silver checkmark bloggers, perhaps? No, nothing. All right. Pharaoh didn't get his invite to the ballroom.
I guess not.
I stopped it.
All right. So there you go. White House ballroom versus the courts. Trump thinks he can get the Supreme Court involved. Okay. We've also got, oh no, what happened there? What happened to my link? There we go. We got to talk about the USS Abraham Lincoln tonight here in the boiler room. I wonder if terms and conditions apply when you're enlisted in the Marine Corps or the Navy, naval aviator, whatever, seaman. Because apparently aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, well, there's a little bit of dissonance in the sphere about this. There are family members and others of people on there saying that morale is tanking. And we've discussed this on the program months ago. I believe it was when the sewage system broke aboard the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not sound pleasant. But apparently now people are jumping off the deck. Just jumping right off the deck of the Abraham Lincoln. Why would they want to do that? Well, the USS Abraham Lincoln. Let me share this tab so you guys can actually see it. This is out of USA Today. USS Abraham Lincoln in the news. What to know? USS Abraham Lincoln has become the focus of growing scrutiny after lawmakers and two military-focused media outlets reported on suicide attempts and declining morale aboard the aircraft carrier. This carrier has been at sea since November of 2025, and the reports raised concerns about living conditions and morale during its lengthy deployment to the Middle East. So what happened was the Navy, U.S. Central Command, and why do they call him Defense Secretary? I thought he was War Secretary. Pete Kegsbreath have pushed back against claims of personnel problems aboard the ship, saying reports have been completely misinterpreted. Hegseth told reporters during a visit to Panama just yesterday, quote, "We make sure every ship, every crew, every captain has everything we can provide them at every single moment." Does that include flushing toilets? Back to the quote. "Some deployments are longer than others, and I have more respect and gratitude for those sailors than anybody. What they do in those high seas, in those austere conditions with less port calls is incredible." So Hegseth says, no big deal, misreporting. But questions about conditions aboard the aircraft carrier intensified this week after reports from the Navy Times and Stars and Stripes detailed concerns about sailors' well-being during the ship's record-setting deployment. That's right, it is a record-setting deployment. They will come up on a year very soon here, a matter of a couple months or so. The report cited concerns from family members about declining morale, while lawmakers pointed to reports of supply shortages, plumbing issues, water contamination, moldy showers, broken toilets, and mail delivery disruptions. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like it would be a morale killer to me. I've spent a few nights aboard aircraft carriers, and it is austere in the best of conditions on the shortest of trips. So I don't know. What's this? I'm seeing like reports of like up to 6 attempts by people to jump off the deck of this ship. I'm having a hard time verifying that. I verified one. They definitely had one, and let's see. They talk about it in this article here. Scrutiny increased after a sailor went overboard earlier this month. CENTCOM confirmed in an X post just yesterday that a sailor fell overboard on August 3rd and was, quote unquote, quickly and safely recovered. So I don't know. That's one way to get off the aircraft carrier if you're sick of it, I suppose. I'm guessing they'll ship you home and court-martial you, though.
Swoke the blank.
Yeah.
What the blank.
Yeah.
So there was a story, I don't know if it's related, but there was one lady who had reported that she had heard contact from her husband that he said he doesn't think he's going to make it and that he was going to jump, and that she has not heard back about what happened to that guy. I don't know. It's probably a different guy. Sorry. Pharaoh.
Jump like kill himself, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. He was basically telling his wife that he thinks he's going to jump. So.
Oh, man. That is not the way to get home to your wife. That's for sure. Because even if you live, you're going to be in deep doo-doo. Deep doo-doo.
Plus sharks.
There's always that. There's always those guys. Hopefully not mutant sharks.
I watched some of the video of that douchebag, the way he was responding to like reports coming from like, so he's spouting off how much he has respect for the military and this and that, and I'm like, but you don't respect anything they themselves are complaining about or their spouses. So I'm like, isn't that throwing shade on the military by not even listening to what they don't give them a chance? You're just like, oh no, that's not true. We treat them the best, and you're a liar. And he's done this same kind of outrage, calling everybody liars from the people who were hurt. There were some military members recently who were accusing the military of not providing them any kind of protection or giving a crap that they've been injured and all this stuff. And they were, again, Hexas just accused them of being liars. He was saying about this story that it's being blown up by the media because it's fake news. And I'm like, this is not fake news. And he doesn't come from a position where he has no leg to stand on. How long has he served aboard a vessel? Oh, that's right. So I mean, like, dude, from what I understand, Navy. I mean, this is not good to be, and like you said, all these shitty conditions, no pun intended, because. So I'm wondering, is like, okay, why are they out there for so long? The reason that they say is they're trying to pass the buck on to Iran. They're like, well, because of the conflict and because Iran and everybody's shooting at us, it's tricky for us to get the supplies replenished or to do this and that. But we're on it. It's our top priority. And I'm like, if it's a top priority, how come we had to wait until the spouses are saying, hey, yo, what's going on with our hubbies and our wives over there, whatever's going on, right? People jumping overboard, right? Why does it take fake news to come out and break this story if it's like a priority to solve a problem that they know is a problem? This is not being very transparent with the people, obviously. But I think that they're lying about the reason. I think this is punitive. This is just my own theory. Because, as you pointed out, this is the same vessel where they had the toilet problems early on. There was a lot of indications and reporting, basically, practically not necessarily officially confirmed, but I think it was going on, that it was sabotage, that the sailors on board the ship were purposely sabotaging as a form of protest against the war, against the conflict. And I think because they did that, I think that they've been chosen, as it were, I hate to use that word, to have an extended vacation in the region, as like, see what happens when you mess around with the military-industrial complex war machine. Just a theory of mine. Just saying.
Yeah. And Pharaoh, I find it interesting that Keg's Breath has not done a media update in 2 months. He hasn't talked to a room of journalists in over 8 weeks. But he's happy to fly off to Panama or, wherever and stand in front of a bunch of cadets and say stuff that he should be saying to journalists who can ask follow-up questions. I find that whole thing kind of dog and pony showish.
Well, he doesn't have time to waste with press. That administration doesn't care about that.
Is that because he's busy checking everyone's testosterone level?
That's right.
Personally,
going around like doing some tests. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This whole I'm just so disappointed in that administration that I really do not know what to say.
Yeah. Well, you're not alone.
This is just a joke for this person to be Secretary of Defense, to be honest. But
yeah,
what can you say?
Yeah, what can we say? I mean, Burning Beard in the Discord chat says that the Lincoln could get false flagged. I mean, who knows? Who knows? It wouldn't be the first time we've seen a long deployment turn into the reason for sparking something up even bigger.
They could get libertied. Yeah.
Yeah, they could get libertied.
Well, I mean, Trump's saying we're probably going to declare Strait of Hormuz like ours pretty soon.
I know.
So
oh, dude.
I don't know and he's going to indefinitely have the naval blockade.
The Strait of Hormuz, American territory. Okay. Someone explain that and make that make sense, because how?
Because he's just going to drive take Abraham Lincoln there. I don't know, man. I really don't know what's his plan. My point is, today he was claiming that we're going to keep the naval blockade going for forever. And I don't know how can he do that if our naval deployment in such a shitty situation. But I assume nobody trusts anything that Trump is saying. So you can just throw that in the toilet of the Abraham Lincoln.
But you can't flush it, maybe.
But you can flush it. So it's a problem.
Just going to float.
It's going to clog it even more.
I saw the speech where he made that announcement, Pharaoh, and literally everyone behind him were doing yeah. They thought it was the coolest thing he'd ever said when he said, and we're gonna make the Strait of Hormuz an American territory. And they were like, yeah. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Where do they find these effing people?
I don't know. It's not the same thing as changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico, for example, on the map. This is like, foreign territory. I don't think you can just declare it the United States territory.
We're just gonna go empty the crab tank in the Strait of Hormuz of
Yeah.
Iran, and then just declare it ours.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
just gonna shit on it and declare it
It's
ours.
probably not real. The audience behind him is probably just
It's probably
AI
not.
generated. Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised at all.
So he's in front of a green
I
screen.
really doubt anybody. He's gonna grit any clouds out. I don't know who goes to his rallies anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
The guy just killed all the energy behind him.
Yeah.
It's actually incredible. Actually, I've never seen someone self-destruct so bad the way he did, that he actually lost all the support. It's incredible.
No, it's pretty amazing.
He came into 2024 so with such a big support behind him, and it just went to the toilets like a
Right?
month in.
It's not uncommon. I'm noticing this too. It's not uncommon for a presidential candidate to lie, to have a platform of lies on which to get elected. And it's not uncommon for them to be unpopular with most of the people that voted for them by the end of that term, especially if it's a second term. But my goodness, I have whiplash from how quickly MAGA disintegrated. And it wasn't just like, oh, it made some bad decisions and now it's disintegrating. It's like there remains a whole like media industry, like just throwing it in everybody's face, just how far off track this has gotten from what was said in the lead up to this presidency. I mean, it's caused so many people whiplash. I've never seen so much hope for change. Obama, never seen so much hope for change to just get dashed within a matter of months, weeks.
Honestly, he makes Obama look so benign, and I hate to say that. I really hate to say that, but
I'm sure you do.
Obama did much less damage to us than actually Trump did.
Yeah, these are like,
and I'm actually
these
really
are like
pretty confident saying that.
National fatality, end of an empire style decisions that are being made in our faces.
Well, I mean,
And Trump
between the
wants to do
two,
something that could bring Obama back, because Trump is trying to push them to amend that part of the Constitution that says you can't serve more than 2 terms.
Oh yeah, maybe he can get the Supreme Court right on that. He's going to need Congress for that one though, which he may lose coming up here soon.
but seriously, between his two presidencies, I cannot imagine another one that did so much damage to us between COVID response, the wealth transfers that happened after COVID, and then the continuation of this madness in 2024. Like the Iraq war and Afghanistan don't even come close to any of that shit. This is seriously, it's
And let's not
up there.
Let's not forget the Epstein cover up.
And the
all
Epstein
that
cover
other
up
stuff
and all
that's going on.
it's just and the corruption.
Yep.
Right, and I hate that because I voted for the guy. I actually voted. It was my first vote ever, and I gave him my vote. And I feel, but you have to face the reality. It just was such a shitty decision, and such a sham. Like, what can I say?
Yeah, and Rabo, you might be onto something there. Annie is handing back the baton to the socialist democratic bourgeoisie with such momentum that they can hit the ground running. That could very well be what ends up happening, and could very well end up being what the plan was all along. So we may get to see this bombastic of a democratic socialist president coming up next. I wonder what that season of America will look like.
It's interesting you guys mentioned that. I was just reading a headline driving home today that Vance was saying America is now witnessing the rise of socialism.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's going to be our new right left paradigm. Is just going
that's right. The new
unhinged neocons.
That's right.
Unhinged.
Then you keep the new divide,
socialists.
right? Socialism and all this garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, somebody was at one of Trump's rallies recently calling him a PDF protector or whatever, and he said, he's a communist. He's a communist, ladies and gentlemen. Did you see that?
Yeah. So
It's
if
like
you
that's their go-to right now. And Ted Cruz, I think, was up there recently accusing people of being communists and socialists. And again, they accuse people of doing that if you're against all this technocracy stuff, which is crazy.
right, and if you really like peel the onion back a little bit and you look at the way this country is behaving, not just now, but for the longest time, you look at the military industrial complex, you look at the medical complex, you look at the pandemic industrial complex, you look at the insurance industrial complex, look at the DoD budget, the DOW budget. Tell me that is not like one of the gnarliest examples of the worst parts of fascism and communism put together. We don't vote. We don't have any representation when it comes to the $1 trillion DoD budget or what they do with it. We have nothing like that. So to say that one side of the aisle is socialist and the other one is fascist is just a joke. It's like, what are you talking about? You guys are both wearing both hats. The whole system is set up that way.
What do you guys think about what Tucker is doing now with the third party probably coming?
I don't want to think about their third party. I don't want to think about their third party, their fourth party, their fifth party. The party needs to end. This partying needs to stop because I think we all know who's running the game in both parties and who's setting up the third party.
We're all partied out, man.
Yeah, we're partied out.
I don't think it's a legitimate third party. I was watching somebody. Oh my gosh, Lord help me! It was Kim Iverson. There we go. So shout out to Kim Iverson. She pointed out about this new party that Tucker, MTG, Massey, Joe Kent were all hanging out talking about, right, or whatever, where all this is coming from. And she said there's somebody missing here if they want to do this, if they want to be like this independent thing, break away. There was nobody from the left. It was all these conservative people who were upset over the Israel issue predominantly. And she was pointing out that if they want to actually make a change or make a significant impact or do anything with this or have it go anywhere, they need somebody who's usually traditionally associated with the left. You know what I mean? So I thought that was an interesting thing to point out. So it's in a way, it's more like a breakaway inside subcult of the Republican. It's just another part of the Republican Party, kind of like the MAGA was an emergence out of, you know what I mean? But it was still Republican. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah.
They're like subgenres.
It's all so familiar. It's almost like you could picture Trump being part of this back in the day. You know what I mean? Like the guys, again, he's done the full 180 or whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're like little political subgenres that are only useful for one or two cycles. At least that's all we've seen so far. Rooster in the Discord says there's an intelligence writer on Substack named Jack Rivers who claims 7 sailors were killed in an attempted mutiny, but his corroboration is a little iffy. Okay, thanks for the link there, Rooster. That does that's worth looking at. Maybe I'll put it on the show post for anybody that's wanting to look in. He said the alleged sabotage toilets was the Gerald R. Ford. Okay, yeah, I recall that. Yep. Both platforms.
Well, then please strike my conspiracy theory from the records.
Well, I think they're both in that same battle group that have been out there for a really long time. So it's never just.
But if this one had plumbing issues too, I mean, there's always that couldn't have been a one-off event. So maybe my conspiracy theory still stands.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm guessing they're all part of that same battle group, and there's usually a number of vessels and platforms in a battle group like that.
Are these guys really like that soft, or is it is really the conditions that bad?
I mean, I don't know. Normally, like most people, if someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 6 months at sea is kind of
I think it's 6-7, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long one. So and by the time people get off, they're ready to get off. You know what I mean? It's It's a pretty big ask to be aboard one of those, and there's a lot of repairs that happen when they come back in. So yeah, and some of these vessels are getting, pretty old. They're, dare I say, outdated.
It's the important thing is the word that they keep using there, and I think maybe Hesher, you understand this. It's because it's a very military thing, but morale. That's what it's really about. And I mean, it's the most devastating that could change change the outcome of a war and a battlefield. So it should be it's supposed to be like the number one thing that the military is concerned about is the morale of their service members. Otherwise, you're effed. I mean, from what I understand, So, so this is all just it's not good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Sorry for interrupting. So, but morale is more than that, because morale is like the cause you're fighting for. It's like, are you actually doing progress, right? What are you doing there, right? And I think part of the demoralization of these guys is just we're stuck in a conflict that nobody want to be in it.
Yeah,
they're just stuck over there, God knows doing what, right? Just because Trump just say stand there, right? So I mean, I think that demoralization might be coming from really everybody just losing faith and whatever we're fighting for, because there's really, we're not fighting for anything. What are we fighting for, right? Like, what are we fighting for right now?
A foreign nation, as far as most people can tell. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you think back to like post 9/11 or post Pearl Harbor, and some of the comments that certain presidents and politicians have made over the years, where they say things like, we need a catalyzing event to bring people together, that kind of stuff. That's how they gain support for war. And they've really not provided that in this one, to go on this long and have this many civilian casualties, and for them to not be collateral casualties. You know what I mean? For civilians to have been targeted. This is the kind of stuff that, if you're on that boat and your spouse is like, okay, it's been 8 months and you're clearly miserable and you're clearly, not understanding the mission here. It doesn't feel like it's helping your country. Like, that, you're right. That will dip morale just as quick as not being able to get your letters or be on the internet or use the can.
And honestly, I think we should just, and I think we started doing that actually during the Bush time, where we have our just regular military, right? Like just day-to-day Americans or servicemen, right? Just let's focus those on like serving actually what military is supposed to do, which is protecting the mainland, right? And protecting US. And then just use mercenaries for this kind of shit. Just put a bunch of mercenaries on the ship and just pirate. I mean, it's piracy anyway. Might as well just put some mercenaries out there, right? Instead of the servicemen, right? Why do you have to torture them?
Yeah, good question. All right. Thanks, Burnin' Beard. This one as well, just in the name of being thorough here. This came out yesterday on NBC7. New aircraft carrier heads toward Middle East after reports of issues on long deployed USS Lincoln. So they're sending the USS George Washington that direction, and hopefully that will give the USS Abraham Lincoln a chance to go back to port. So there's that. I don't know if that's much consolation to people that are already so upset that they're trying to jump overboard. But
well, we'll need to do some gematria and look at the history between Lincoln and Washington and see what the coded message here is that they're trying to send us. I know there's a 33 in here somewhere. I'm just totally kidding. Yeah, that'd be really nice to get them some relief. That's good news. There was this other thing. This was all over the news or my feeds today on the mainstream news headlines through which one? My phone, my Samsung News popped up today that Trump doing another weird thing. He's requesting, he's asking, or he's somehow getting interfering with it in places and things that he shouldn't be, as usual. I wonder at whose behest, or if this is one of his wild cockamamie ideas. Probably the latter here, where he wants to the catapult system, I guess, which is what sends the jets flying off the aircraft carriers, right, Hesher?
Yeah.
He wants to retrofit it to some sort of steam catapult system, which is breaking away from where they're currently at. The new ones that they're building, it was going to cost extra money to do all this, and one of these people who's usually one of the insane people on the left that nobody really likes, but came out recently and said the common sense thing, and was Mark Kelly, that's who it was, said that Trump has no business talking about modifying Navy and spending all this extra money. He doesn't even know what the F he's talking about. You know what I mean? I was just like, well, you know, he's got a point.
not really. I mean, his uncle was a freaking like rocket scientist, wasn't he?
Trump? It was his grandfather, I thought, right?
Grandfather or his uncle? Maybe grandfather.
Right. Well, Trump. But
that doesn't make Trump any smarter.
Well, it does. It does.
Guys, even know how to wipe his own ass. Come on.
He's a very stable genius. Come on.
Stable genius, sure.
Maybe with some genetic suspenders on, he's got stable genes.
I swear, he kept saying someone in his family is like a rocket scientist. I don't remember who.
So if any of us are rocket scientist adjacent, then we are very smart. All right, that's enough on them. Let's harangue the corporate aspect of the world here. Got a short video for you guys. Here you go. Walmart digital price tags collide with shopper anxiety over surveillance pricing. If you don't know this term, you will now. Check this out.
Thousands of items this summer, there's growing concern over a separate move, adding digital price tags across their stores by the end of 2026. As Walmart announces price cuts on thousands of items this summer, there's growing concern over a separate move, adding digital price tags across their stores by the end of 2026.
So I know you guys have been hearing about this.
Some consumers fear those dynamic in-store tags mean companies could use their personal data to tailor prices.
They can change these whenever they want to.
I'm like, did they change because I walked up?
Well, you guys are not worried enough about dynamic pricing.
Walmart denies the tags are being used for surge pricing, adding it doesn't have the ability to change prices as customers are walking through the store, saying it's all to help workers with efficiency.
Instead of us spending hours changing the prices, we can spend hours helping the customers.
A retail expert tells us even if the tech to personalize prices is available, it might not be used.
People know what the prices are. And so when they see it online and then they go into a store the next day and it's totally different, that's not going to leave them feeling good about the brand as a whole. And grocers know that.
Still, anxiety over so-called surveillance or algorithmic pricing is surging after several high-profile incidents online. Earlier this year, the New York Attorney General demanded grocery delivery app Instacart explain whether it was using personal data to set prices, after a report found it charged some users up to 23% more for the same items. Instacart responding in a press release saying it would end what it calls item price tests and pledge the same prices for all customers shopping at the same stores. Then in April, a man sued JetBlue, alleging the airline used customers' internet history and demographic info to charge different fares, after seeing a since-deleted exchange on X where JetBlue recommended using incognito mode to get lower ticket prices. JetBlue saying the post was a mistake from an employee and that it does not use personal information or web browsing history to set individual pricing. Yet
we believe them, right? I mean, gosh, they would never do something like that, would they?
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, trust us. Oh, man. That sure makes things convenient, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Like this is anything new. I remember being a very early young ruckus, meaning like when I first started getting into what people call conspiracy theories. It's not a conspiracy theory now, is it? None of those things that I was talking about way back in the day turned out to be conspiracy theories at all. They're all just commonplace realities, including your smart fridges. People thought I was crazy about that one. Remember that stuff back in the day? Yeah, so Amazon got busted for doing this kind of thing, or your prices were slightly different than your next door neighbors. Why would that be? And they got in a whole buttload of trouble. And I'm talking like decades ago now. So I mean, like companies absolutely do this. They absolutely do want to do this. And then you toss in all the surveillance tech and the government and the credit scores and this and that. And, you know, you talked about the changing of the guard with the Dems. What are they probably going to be focused on, everybody? Climate change and your carbon credits. Is this what we want? Do you want like to be launched headlong into a Gavin Newsom or an AOC or a Michelle Obama presidency with all of this technology and gloves and digital prices at Walmart? What do you think's going to happen? We're screwed if we proceed with this. We all need to stop, pump the brakes on this, like meow, and don't listen to Walmart or any of these companies when they say, well, no, we couldn't possibly change the prices. Everybody knows what the prices are. They're right there. What's an obvious solution to that? Oh, we could just get rid of the prices. That's right. You want to buy this, you just scan it and your barcode, you just walk past it and it just automatically deducts it from your cart. You don't even see the damn price until later when you check out. If you see the price at all, it might even not be money. It's going to be carbon credit, Dogecoin or something, right?
X dollars.
Yes, it'll be X money. He's onto something. Yes.
You'll all be paying for your groceries with your new X card.
Well, actually, the way we're going is going to be something called Trump bucks. Remember, Ruckus said that.
Trump bucks. Great.
Trump coin. Trump stable coin.
So, what surveillance pricing is? Regulators distinguish two practices that can look identical from the checkout lane. Dynamic pricing adjusts what something costs based on neutral market conditions, which could be demand, weather, or inventory, for example. And surveillance pricing adjusts it based on who you are, your location, your device, your purchase history, your browsing behavior, and what your profile suggests you are willing to pay before walking away. That seems like something that should just be, and probably is, patently illegal to do. If you're a mom and pop shop and you're doing that kind of stuff, just say you're surveilling customers and giving them random prices, I would think that you could maybe lose your business license for that. But if you're Walmart, Instacart, or Amazon, well, I don't know. I guess you're too big to fail. You're too big to be responsible. Maybe you even do get a fee for it. Maybe you do get a slap on the wrist. But when you're a bazillion-dollar a day company, I don't think that really matters much.
What if agents did it? It's not
Hmm.
actually executive doing it. It's just basically an AI agent took the decision and did it. Are they going to
Well,
be held accountable?
that's interesting that you mentioned that, because in this article at Tech Times that we've got up right here, you can see Walmart's AI pricing patents and a security flaw researchers already found. Back in January, a patent covers a system for dynamically and automatically updating item prices across Walmart's e-commerce system. The patent applies machine learning to predict product demand and generate pricing recommendations at scale. Neither patent is limited to the efficiency use cases Walmart has publicly described. So, yes, we've got Instacart, JetBlue, Amazon, all using similar things there. And sometimes fares can jump up to $230 in a single day on JetBlue.
It's pretty crazy.
That is.
Yeah, the dynamic surge pricing has been going on for a minute now, but now it's that other one that's far more concerning. You know, the surveillance pricing. Yay.
Yeah, they can
Yeah,
call it
if
surge
your
pricing. Yeah, I guess they
if your
can call it
AI,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and if your AI agent is doing all your shopping for you on your behalf, which is what another direction we're heading, then yeah, at what point does anyone even know about any prices? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you think about that, like, first of all, the surveillance pricing, right? Based on who you are on your device, your purchase history, all that. But even the dynamic pricing, like if we just take this, like, let's just pretend we could take the surveillance pricing out of the equation. Like, let's say we had a government that was like not going to allow corporations to screw everybody like that. That's pie in the sky. But the dynamic pricing in and of itself is using AI to look at neutral market conditions, demand, weather, inventory, and you just look at the way everything has been offshored and the way the supply chains can and were manipulated, especially in 2020 and 2021. That proves to us that any supply chain disruption, whether it's based on a geopolitical event, a medical event, whatever, can completely upend what the variables that they use to do dynamic pricing. And when do the prices go down? I hear a lot of people arguing about that this week. The $20 burrito comments by Mark Levin and all these idiots. So do the prices dynamically ever go back to 2019? Like if the supply chains bump in?
Absolutely not, because it's not supply chain. It's the value of the dollar itself. It's gone, my friend.
Yeah. It's the narrative. The narrative is what runs everything. So if you just tweak the narrative, and we know who does that, well, prices go wonky.
They have never been caught price fixing things just based on the news. Like say, oh, there's a conflict in the Middle East, and all of a sudden the gas stations are like, oh, sorry that the gas prices are so high, but war in the Middle East, so there's always that. Neat. Imagine they can do that like whenever they want, lickety split, and the dynamic pricing. Just it's like the Office Space. They're like just shaving up the little pennies, rounding it off or whatever, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And that's another thing is too. Some people don't feel like if you've ever seen these price discrepancies and you're just like, well, whatever. It's just 10 cents. It's just a 24-cent difference or whatever. Well, think about like they are multiplying across so many people. You know what I mean? It adds up for these companies. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Am I having a mic issue?
Yeah, I was going to put that up.
You do.
Read it. It's cracking like it's perfect until it's not. Like it's fine, and then 30 seconds later it'll crack for like 5 seconds, and then it's fine again. So it's not ideal, but it's not completely ruining your microphone experience.
Why would the fact that I'm not using this makes no sense? But
yeah, okay. I don't get it. It almost sounds like you have a cell phone too close to the computer or something, but it doesn't have that same sound really. I don't see how those could be.
Is it because my Bluetooth that I'm using?
I've never heard of that happening before, but that's really the only thing that's changed. So, and it didn't happen until we went live either. We chatted on off air for quite a while, and it wasn't doing that. So, at any rate, we'll look into that. So let's see here. Yeah, thanks, Brennan Beard in the Discord. TruthStream did a video on this. It's called "Who Wants to Live in This Digital Prison?" Yep, I saw that. Thanks for reminding us. I'll put that on the show page so folks can watch it, because that's going to apply to our next topic here, which is the ever-present data center backlash. So out of the dreaded Brookings Institute here, we've got data center backlash signals a fight over AI power. This was penned last month by Tom Wheeler, who says, "You don't have to be a weatherman to know which way the wind is blowing," Bob Dylan wrote in 1965. For election season 2026, artificial intelligence is blowing at gale force. The flashpoint has been data centers, the multi-football field-sized computing facilities that power AI. Fundamentally, this is a fight about power and whether it will be exercised by democratic institutions or those that control the infrastructure of AI. Is there a difference? That would be my first question. Do we still have democratic institutions? And if we do, is there a difference between them and those that control the infrastructure of AI? Because they're telling us now that it's a national security issue. It's government infrastructure issue, whatever. But he goes on to say, local citizen outrage has taken its toll. The first 3 months of 2026 saw local data center opposition block or delay 75 projects worth $130 billion in planned construction. Yeah, good job. Good job, citizens. This is according to Data Center Watch. This was roughly the same number of projects affected in all 12 months of 2025. So if that tells you anything about the scaling up, the exponential scaling up of installations of data centers, the same amount in all 12 months in the first 3 months of this year versus last year. AI megacenters have become the symbol of citizen frustration about AI. As the most visible manifestation of AI, they have become the proxy for citizen feedback on AI itself. The debate over land use also represents the crystallization of broader public concern about AI's effect on American lives and livelihood. Well, yeah, of course it does. We've got signs right here in our neighborhood opposing AI. Are you seeing those, Pharaoh, where you live?
So can I just say something? Because they are doing a framing here that I don't agree with.
Yeah, I know. I noticed.
So the fight is not citizens don't give a crap about AI. The citizens are pissed of their government that is selling the resources and taxing them, right, to get corporation to benefit
and polluting their land.
The government that's polluting their environment,
yep,
right, and destroying their livelihood, right, and stealing their wealth to give it to private corporation. That's what they are pissed off. They are not pissed about AI. Those people don't give a rat ass about AI. Right? That's what they care about. These people cannot afford to fucking eat. They're seeing their utility bills going up, right? They're seeing everything is going expensive on them. They're getting headaches. They're getting poisoned, right? Because this administration is poisoning the environment, right? With even some collusion with other chemical industries that we have seen, right? So this is what people care about. They don't give a shit about AI. So whatever the hell they are trying to do in that article to distract from the reality of what it is, what people pissed about, is garbage.
Yeah, that's why I said the dreaded Brookings Institute, because of course they're going to frame it that way. And this is like the soft framing that leads up to the bigger narrative that they're going to try to push, that they're already pushing, is that citizens that are opposing AI data centers are un-American or domestic this or that sort of dissident thing. And it's like, what are you talking about? You're quite literally with some of these AI centers destroying the water table. You're disrupting the power supply. You're driving up the prices of utilities, and you're polluting the air. Just the sound of some of these things is enough to drive some people crazy.
Like, we have so much. How much of US is uninhabited?
Plenty. Lots of it.
Plenty.
Drive through Texas. Drive through Idaho. Drive through Nebraska.
Go put the damn data center there. Yeah. Why do you have to put it in the middle of freaking busy neighborhood? Why?
Right? Like here in Texas, talked about this on the show recently. A town not too far away, a guy who owns a significant amount of land passes away, and he wills that land to the city for a park. And what did the new mayor and the old mayor conspire to do? They conspired to sell that land off to a data center company.
There you go.
And they also conspired to remove the town's legal right to do a recall on a mayor. And why did they do that? They did that so that the citizens could not fight back, because their best way to fight back would be to recall that mayor. 3 people voted on that, not the citizens. 3 stupid bureaucrats.
Yeah, and this is a story that is not just in that city or
Yeah.
that town. That's
All over.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They are selling towns for developers. They are selling towns for like private corporations, right? And raising property taxes, jacking up utility prices. Like, what the hell are they after? Like, you're supposed to serve your citizens. Like, your sole purpose as a government is to just serve your citizens. Period.
And who does it serve when you build the data center? My goodness, let me think. What benefit do we have? Because they're going to put 8 of them here in our town. We're fighting it. They may not get all 8, but they got the metadata center. That one's happening for sure. That one was in the works before this even became an argument. You know, the metadata center, I remember them talking about that in like 2018, 2019 or something. And it was like, okay, you know, that's like an Amazon facility being built in your town or something. It seems like, well, that kind of sucks, but it'll probably bring jobs and blah, blah, blah. But, and the other thing that is extremely frustrating is it appears to me, at least in my opinion, that they have consolidated selling points that they give to city council members. You know, for example, they tell them it's not going to use more water than 4 or 5 restaurants, or it's not going to change the cost of power, or it won't need more water brought in because it's like an eternal loop of, you know, fluid that stays in it. These ridiculous claims that cannot be backed up seem to be what are convincing a lot of government officials, city council members and stuff to approve these things. I think they also overinflate the amount of jobs it's going to bring.
What jobs will it bring?
Right?
And
Like,
to
how can
who?
it's about automating stuff. So it's not
To
going to bring
who?
jobs for
Going
people.
to rural America and putting a freaking data center, you're going to get a bunch of rednecks to work in the data center? Fuck no.
No.
What are you bring? Like, what are you doing?
They sell it as the construction job when they can make it, and then what happens after that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Limited contract for limited people.
And the meta one is up and running now, Hesher, I think, for a month or 2.
Yeah, it's going. It's
So
going.
here's what I suggest. Let's just get some independent auditors, right, to go inside those data centers, right? And let's actually really give us a good study about true power usage, true coolant usage, right? Water usage, pollution, right? And put it out in the public and just shut us up. Show us the fucking data and just prove that all of us are fucking morons. Just shut us up, guys.
Well, if we had a functional media here, and even partially functional media, there would be journalists deploying to all these places all over the place, right? Even going undercover to get in there and get that footage. And we don't see that at all. All we see is the same kind of framing that you're hearing here from the Brookings. It's like, it's not even tacitly supporting it. It's wholehandedly supporting it.
Can you flash that on the screen real quick, Hesher? Because I missed that whole article. I just want to see the headline.
Yeah, it's a pretty benign headline. Data center backlash signals a fight over AI power.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same. Like, so they are trying. Oh yeah, all the companies are laying people off because of AI. This is complete garbage. They are laying them off because they overhired and they overpaid these people during COVID, and they now they are correcting because of the economy, right? But now they are trying to say it's AI who's doing that, right? So it's
always a fall guy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it's not just. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it just. Sorry, I was actually falling asleep and then I woke up on those fuckers. So that's good. You can see I started getting like pretty passionate about it, but no, I just really want people to just really, please, right now, this is the time where you have to filter out the noise. Filter out the noise and focus on the signal. Forget the bullshit, like partisan crap they push. Forget the nonsense narrative they are trying to push, and look at the true signal. Because this is the only way, if we have the fucking chance to fight, is us focusing on the real signal and uniting together to stand up.
Yeah. How many people in the chat have a data center planned in their towns? Because we obviously have more than a handful. In the Discord, I see Burning Beard saying they're building one 10 miles away from me. They're selling it as cleaning up an old coal and steel site. That's yet another flimsy excuse for why they need a data center. Like, go clean it up. Just clean it up, why don't you? And build a park or build a community center or something, cleaning up old coal and steel site.
There's also these stories of people who are having their homes taken or threatened with eminent domain over Georgia Power expansion that's happening, obviously somewhere in Georgia. I don't remember where specifically, but some of you may have seen some of these stories. But like, what's interesting there is it's not about the data center specifically, but it's related because they have to expand the Georgia Power Center because they need to provide extra data center power.
Yeah,
extra power to the data centers. So it's like, it's not, but it's like, but yeah, now they're just literally going to take your house and your land, using eminent domain in the name of these this is crazy. I mean, like, what the F? Like, how is it that the data centers are that important to warrant eminent domain? You know what I mean? Again, what's going on here? It cannot be over AI so that somebody in his basement can make like cat videos using ChatGPT, right? Like, what the F?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as Raybo says, and we don't even have enough water as it is now, and it is of poor quality to boot. No kidding, man. We've had our water tested here, and it's better than a lot of places, but I still wouldn't drink it without boiling it. I'm not into excess levels of chlorine drinking, no thanks.
Isn't it interesting that Bill Gates was just making the rounds recently in a few viral moments of the same clip being passed around on your social media feeds? You probably caught it by now, discussing something somewhere recently about how everybody's going to die again because of lack of water. Weird. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I did actually. Gee, what could be sucking up all the water?
Can you open that article, Hesher?
Got it. What do you got for us, Pharaoh? All right. America's largest aquifer is drying up. It's out of thedriller.com. Ugh, that makes me think of Driller Killer. I used to dig that movie. Anyway, thedriller.com says America's largest aquifer is drying up. Ranchers are running out of room for guesswork. As groundwater levels decline across the Aguala aquifer, ranchers are turning to real-time monitoring to better understand water use, reduce waste, and make more informed management decisions.
There is a map down there. It will show you if you scroll down a bit.
This is beneath the Great Plains here.
Yep, there you go.
That would be the Aguala aquifer right there. So yeah,
tiny.
I'm wondering how many data centers they have in Northwest Texas.
I would guess that would be a popular place to put them.
Let's see.
I mean, we've got
there's data center map.
If memory serves, last I looked, we had like 300 or so planned here in Texas. And we got one listener here, one viewer, shout out to Rooster in the Discord, said similar to Burn and Beard, we live up in the mountains of North Carolina, It's unbelievable. They built a Bitcoin factory here a couple years ago. Wall Street Journal actually did a story about it, but they picked the right county commissioners who don't care what their constituents want. Yep.
How'd that happen?
Sounds about right. And if it's anything like some of the towns here in Texas, the old mayor and the new mayor are high school buddies, and they'll find a way to remove the town's ability to recall them.
It's our fault because we didn't vote harder.
Yeah, we should have voted harder. Dang it. All right, so let's move along here. And up next, we've got what horrors do we have to behold? Here we go. Federal surveillance operation targeted progressive groups and unions in Minnesota, documents show. From the dreaded The Hill. Federal agents secretly monitored progressive groups and protesters during the Trump administration's immigration crackdown in Minneapolis, according to court documents filed yesterday. I think this came out recently. Yeah, yesterday was Thursday. The surveillance detailed in the 26-page motion filed in the federal court in Minnesota was part of two investigations dubbed Operation Puppet Master and Project Whipple Shield, which officials say were to track a ring of, note the word here, conspirators aiding quote unquote violent opportunists and agitators. DHS used undercover agents to attend meetings, monitor private group chats, and gather information about the people involved in the protests in Minnesota earlier this year. These records were disclosed in a criminal case against 15 people charged in June with conspiring to interfere with federal officers during the protests. So, what does that say about protesting? You can't have an open protest group without it being infiltrated by Fed boys who are collecting data on you and looking to sue you. I think that's what they're telling us.
I think people should have learned that a long time ago.
Yeah, did you guys not know this already? If you're going to do direct action, you got to really have some OPSEC. You can't just assume that you have a First Amendment right, apparently.
Yeah. What were the names of the projects?
Oh, didn't you love that? Number one, Operation Puppet Master. That says a lot about.
That's interesting. What was the second one again?
The second one is Project Whipple Shield. That's right, Whipple Shield.
What does that tell you? You know what I infer from all of this? They do this kind of shit so often that they're running out of names, so they have to come up with this goofy stuff right here. I'm just saying.
What the hell is a Whipple Shield? A Whipple Shield or Whipple Bumper is a type of spaced armor shielding invented by Fred Whipple, designed to protect crewed and uncrewed spacecraft from hypervelocity collisions with micrometeoroids and orbital debris. That's some space junk science. Cool.
What the F?
Dude. What the hell is going on here? I think we know exactly what's going on.
Can I go back to like Project Jade Helm or something? I mean,
right? Remember Jade Helm? They used to have names that were like,
at least they're like, or the Trident. They're like, oh, you had all this esoteric meaning. Now it's like this geeky space stuff. What's going on?
Yeah, Operation Puppet Master. Come on.
AI clown slop world.
Yeah. So if you want to do direct action, you don't want to be puppet mastered, right? Like that would be probably the worst thing that could happen to a direct action protest group.
I don't know. The Whipple Shield sounds not fun.
That's true. That's true. Well, that one dovetails nicely into our next one here. And this one can be found at pressfreedomtracker.us. There's a lot of articles about this, but I tended towards this one so that we could try to avoid some spin here. New York Times reporters' phone text records sought by DOJ in secret subpoenas. And so the date of the incident, July 16 of this year, about a month ago. New York, New York. The location, the target, the New York Times. The legal orders, a subpoena for communications or work product. 3 of them. One of them was dropped. One was objected to. One is pending. Legal order target. Third party, Google. Legal order venue, federal. So DOJ withdraws. Here's the update from July 23rd. DOJ withdraws subpoenas for testimony from New York Times reporters. The DOJ on the 23rd of July withdrew its subpoenas to telecom companies seeking phone records for multiple New York Times reporters, as well as orders demanding the reporters appear to testify before a grand jury about their confidential sources. The subpoenas were served on July 10. They were issued as part of a harried leak investigation overseen by FBI Director Kash App Patel and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. The inquiry sought to unmask the sources behind reporting on security concerns with Donald Trump's new Qatari-donated Air Force One. Investigators utilized not only subpoenas to the journalists, but also numerous requests to phone providers for the reporters' call and text logs, as well as demands to search the phones of officials at the White House. So what were we saying about assuming you have a First Amendment?
It's also interesting what they chose, why they're investigating them.
Mm-hmm.
Did I hear that right? It's about the Qatari plane?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Which was legit inquiry, actually, for press, right?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
This isn't the only thing either. There's another one that was making the news headlines just recently as well, which I found even more interesting. And again, related to the New York Times, almost like there's some sort of vendetta taking place under the Trump administration against some of these news outlets, but that couldn't possibly be the case. But anyways, did you see this one, Hesher? This is very fascinating. This is about a much older story, an incident that you all might remember. This is a freelance reporter, if I'm not mistaken, by the name of Matthew Cole. But there's a story that he was involved in. And again, it's not about him. It's about his sources, right? They want him to give up the sources. Involving a terrible incident back in the day in North Korea, some covert operation or whatnot. And I think they were Navy SEALs. I don't remember specifically, one of those special operation groups. And they came up and they thought they had been discovered. So they murdered the people who had discovered them. Turned out they were just innocent fishermen who saw them surface. And so to cover up their secret mission and the fact that they just murdered civilians, they stabbed them in the lungs and then sank them to the bottom of the ocean to make the whole thing go away. And then lo and behold, it came out. And so, yeah, anyways, thanks probably to the reporting from this guy. So seems a little vindictive, but it seems quite against, what's the word I'm here? It seems quite unconstitutional to be continuously pursuing, demanding these things from these journalists. I mean, I thought we had some sort of protected free speech and that journalism was kind of important for some reason, but what do I know? I'm probably a communist, right?
Well, that's what Keg's Breath would call you. That's for sure.
We're seeing a pattern here. I mean, it's getting quite authoritarian and disturbing. But, yay, making America great, I guess, somehow.
Or anti-technologist, either one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can be both, too.
Oh, boy. All right, moving on swiftly here. This one. Good Lord. Speaking of Trump's airplanes, we got to touch this one. Trump's secret plane switch took place within a day of quote unquote credible Iranian missile threat. You can't make this stuff up. Of course, this is out of, again, dreaded CBS News this time. Last month's elaborate ruse that saw President Trump secretly move from Air Force One to another plane by way of a catering truck took place within a day of U.S. and Turkish intelligence picking up on an Iranian plot to fire a missile at the presidential jet. CBS News has learned. Oh golly, I'm not going to read this
That's
one.
garbage, dude.
It's such garbage. Everyone knows it's garbage.
Don't waste our time on this crap.
Yeah, everybody knows this is garbage, man, and it's so hilarious and also like just cringy that that they're taking bunk leads from Mossad probably. I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. That's come out in news. They've stated it unequivocally. So they're taking Mossad information and using it to, I don't know. If you listen to Tucker Carlson's take, he says it's to scare the president, right? To scare Donald Trump. I don't know if I buy that. I think that's kind of a normie take on it, but it's the kind of take that allows the behaviors to continue, if you get my drift.
It's a manufactured narrative from Donald Trump himself.
I would not be surprised.
Let's just be honest about it.
I would not be surprised. I mean, 2 hours ago, I would have said he's not smart enough to do that himself, Pharaoh. But now that I know his grandfather was an MIT professor, then, you know, he must be smart enough to come up with something this stupid.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, man.
7D chess move, man.
Right? There's no rocket science in 4D chess. So they landed him in Turkey, right? But there were also, they even say there were also reports of a team in Turkey tasked with firing a surface-to-air missile at the plane, the U.S. official said. But after more probes, no team was detected. Dude, this is like a bad throwaway plot from like one of those CIA shows, like, you know,
failed CIA show.
Yeah. Like I'm kind of like, I've been perusing the streaming services and I'm just noticing like how many CIA propaganda shows there are. It's maddening. And I clicked into one of them. Spore and I've been watching Lioness. And it's not a bad show. Like you compare it to like the old days of like Jack Bauer and 24 and all that. And it's like, oh, it's kind of along these lines, but there's like all these scenes in between the action segments where like you're in the White House or you're in the Situation Room and everybody's talking as though the news is organic and geopolitical events are, you know, a surprise to them in some way, shape, or form. It's so cringy. It is so absolutely cringy. And you know that these shows are using Pentagon writers and Pentagon editors to get these things approved because they can't use all that military gear in these shows without Pentagon and CIA approval. So this is like that level of narrative. It's just so stupid. You'd see it on like, you know, whatever CIA show or FBI show or, you know, Secret Service show, whatever. There's like a whole line on the streaming service of like those kind of propaganda shows. It's crazy. Who's watching this crap? That's what I want to know. I watched Lioness, Spore, and I watched Lioness because Taylor Sheridan created the show, and some of his shows are good. This one, it's got decent action and military stuff if you're just looking for guns and action and, you know, chicks, but the writing is so bad. It's really written for people that are geopolitically illiterate, like our political class.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's AI.
Oh, I'm sure there's AI assisting in the writing of pretty much every show we're seeing now. I mean, it's one of the reasons we haven't seen any new shows in like 4 years because Hollywood is dead. Let's face it. Hollywood is dead and gone. All the shows now are made in Georgia, Toronto, British Columbia, Turkey, other countries. Like, look at Netflix right now. If you go through Netflix and you look at their recently added stuff, it's like 15 movies from between 2009 and 2015 that they're rotating back in, and then a whole bunch of Indian shows and Korean shows. Hollywood is dead.
Have you guys see the those apps that stream the AI created dramas?
Like
there are a bunch of like apps right now streaming like AI created drama. Like the whole thing's just created by AI. It's actually
you know what? I know what you're talking about. They're advertisements, but they're like little micro dramas.
they're micro dramas, but actually if you go to the app, it's a full freaking drama and it's fully created by AI. Right? They have very similar plots, but it's really interesting, actually.
It's disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And it's like, how long have we been seeing this crap? How long has AI slop been invading our screens? Because like all the AI stuff that we all collectively have access to now started dropping in 2022. And I started seeing content like that 2015, 2012 even maybe, where it was just like, wait a minute. What is this? Is this CG? We didn't even have the word, you know what I mean? Like using the term AI in my head to describe a piece of content pre-2023 was like not a thing. In my head, it was CG, computer graphics. And the way CG is made is by hiring a whole bunch of nerds and putting them in a room and having them create a virtual scene or a virtual character or both. But that was still the sweat of someone's brow. You know what I mean? That 300 nerds or whatever it took to produce Jurassic Park back in the day, no longer a thing. It's got me very much questioning the entire Marvel Comics universe. Very much so. That would go back, and that the whole thing launched in what, 2006, 7, 8 with Iron Man 1, the first Iron Man. That was the opening salvo there. What if, and you look at how intricate his suit was. Also look at Michael Bay's movies. Look at the first Transformers movie. Do you think those 300 nerds in that room could light and animate every single little, like, look at this crap behind me and Ruckus. Look at this. This is not near as complicated as one of those Transformers characters in motion, in transformation. I don't think 300 nerds could do that. Modeling every little piece. How long has this stuff been out there? And then there's the matter of the A-list stars that hawk and sell Doritos and cell phones and insurance. Spore and I have been asking for years, why do these people show up for these? Why is Morgan Freeman showing up to hawk a credit card? Maybe he just licensed his voice and likeness out to a company that had advanced AI before we really knew AI video creation was a capable thing. Just asking.
You're definitely a communist.
It depends what week it is and what color shirt I'm wearing. I mean, I might be a fascist for some of my
just admit you want to abolish the prison system and get rid of cops. You want to defund ICE, don't you?
Let's just get rid of the whole border, man. Screw it. Okay. All right. Yeah, so the plane switch was so ridiculous. I don't even know what else to say about it. They put the president in a freaking food cart.
Well, okay, that's what they keep saying. I don't know
They
about.
really do this? Is there proof of this maneuver?
Well, you should play the chicken video.
Yeah, there you go. We have actual footage, everybody. You should definitely play that one. Yeah.
Is that your most recent one there, Ruckus?
It's the one that I think is in the group chat on Discord.
Oh my lord, I gotta switch apps then.
Yeah, sorry about that. This is the actual video has leaked of what happened that day.
Oh, is this the Mr. Sausage video?
Yeah.
Here, I'll get it for you if you can.
All right, yeah. This is probably worth showing to the audience. Mr. Sausage posted this and said, "Who made this?" Let's take a look.
Alpha Charge Day,
Hadi gibi devam sen bir tane gel.
Oh man, that's good.
So that's what people think it went down, like he hid inside this cart. I haven't seen evidence of that, but what I have seen that looked pretty legit, I mean, take all that with a grain of salt, it's out there somewhere, is there was like a second plane behind the main plane, and in between that plane was like a truck, like it was a full-size truck, like a catering van, kind of minivan truck thing, and it looked as if he boarded the one plane, got off the backside of it, and hopped onto this truck and was carted over. So I don't think he was inside like this little cart thing that we keep picturing in our head. I think it was kind of misrepresented or misthought. I don't know if any of it even took place. You know what I mean?
Right. Like,
but here's the other thing is, like, if this is all legit, people were pissed off because he left the press corps, and like Marco Rubio, all these people on board the plane to die. They're like, yeah, we think it's a legitimate thing. Hey, you guys have a good trip. We'll see you there. Like, what the heck?
So the evidence, really the only evidence they have of this is the landing. And I mean, they did a pretty good job with this part, right? You have to make the inference because one plane lands, the other one takes off, and the only thing that's exchanged is this like oversized food truck. And you're right, it's not the one that the flight attendant pushes between the aisles when you're on an airplane. I know you've never seen one of those, Ruckus, but it's pretty small. You couldn't hardly fit a child in one of those.
And they're hilarious.
Right? I know you don't like air travel. Ruckus is the B.A. Baracus of the boiler room. So if we ever have to bug out on a flight, we literally have to knock him out to get him on a flight. So
good luck.
Send roofies.
Hey guys, I gotta bail.
All right, man. We don't want you to pass out on us. I know the news is pretty lame. So
yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're glad you joined us, man. We appreciate you dragging your sleepy behind in here and joining us for some boiler room.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
All right. There he goes. Mystical Pharaoh bugging out. He had to hit the eject button. He had to hit the reject button. No more. No more. This social reject rejects these narratives, and he's out
now
of here.
For my last link I dropped here in this chat, you should throw that up real quick. This is also going on, or people have pointed this out. Trump was doing some golfing. He likes to do some golfing, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing security probably has to be pretty tight after that incident in the lead up.
Well, there was also another incident too. Another one of these like alleged like shooter type things. Somebody tried to get to him or whatever. So, anyways, but he's rolling around with like this full on like, you know, like the Avenger air defense systems, like full blown military equipment because of he's so worried about the threats coming on his life from Iran allegedly. But I'm just like, is this the same guy who like took an ear piercing and stood up so proudly and bravely asked for his shoes? Is this the same guy? I'm confused. I thought he had like balls of steel or something, right? But he seems to be acting quite concerned about his personal safety, begging and pleading for the ballroom and carting around like, what the heck, dude? I don't think I've ever seen. Have any other presidents done this, Hesher? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is he's just out golfing. He's golfing. Seems like overkill to me.
So he's got, and this shot to me is quite questionable also. If this is a legitimate photo and not altered or generated,
I've seen other photos that were from a different angle, but yeah, this you never know these days.
That takes a lot of coordination between a photographer and the military assets there and the White House to make two F-15s hit the shot, as well as a surface-to-air missile unit on a Humvee, while the president is, right at the end of his backswing. Sus, highly sus.
There's no credit for the photo, so you might be onto something.
Maybe, yeah. Where's our usual Getty credit on that?
But I know that they're out there. That he was. Here it is. Here's the real photo or alleged photo that's going around everywhere on Twitter. Credit source Twitter. So again, take this with a grain of salt. And this one's coming from, again, take all of this with a grain of salt. But this is the one that I'd seen floating around. Y'all might have seen it. He's got like barbed wire set up around it, and he's golfing. And there's the Avenger Defender thing right there. Pretty wild.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, it says President Trump was photographed swinging an iron at Bedminster while an Avenger missile system sat near the fairway and F-16s, oh, I stand corrected, scrambled overhead. The full picture of that elevated posture raises questions few expected to see on a golf course. Dude, this picture looks fake as all get out.
That one might be fake. It might be like a recreation.
Yeah,
of it,
this
but
this
the
looks
real one's out there.
more believable. This second one you shared here, like, yeah. And look at the size of Donald Trump in that one, and look where he's at on his backswing. Hold on, let me go back to this one for a second. Okay, look at the profile of the person supposed to be Trump in this picture, and look at the way his left knee is pointing and his toes. That looks like that would hurt even if you weren't an octogenarian. And then look at this picture. Now that looks more like the size I would expect to see on Donald Trump, and that looks more like the best photo that could possibly be grabbed to go with this headline.
Notably missing are the F-16s perfectly framed in the shot as well.
Yeah, no F-16.
Surprised they didn't put up like an American flag too, right?
Yeah. And is that his caddy? Does he have a black caddy? I'm just wondering.
I don't know.
I didn't see his caddy in the other shot. Ugh.
But again, yeah, see how he wants to, this is, it does seem a bit much to just go golfing.
Absolute Looney Tunes. Yeah. I can't even.
Just remember that picture when he finally flips the switch on the Second Amendment issue. Where he's like, "Well, you don't need a gun to protect yourself," says the guy with all that, right? Because that's coming.
Says the guy with an Avenger system out with him, surface to air missile system while he's out golfing at Bedminster. Okie dokie.
He's paranoid.
Well, he's getting some really bad intel. He's getting on food trucks, going onto the older plane, all this stuff. So you just don't know. Let's see. Listener from Houston says a massive $10 billion Amazon data center project is taking shape near Houston. There you go. I might have missed a couple other people in the chat that gave some info on that. I'm sorry if I missed those. I'm doing my best here. My eyeballs are all over the place trying to keep up with my tabs and my messages. Okay, so Trump golfs with a surface to air missile system. Great. Well, we should certainly make sure that the USS Abraham Lincoln stays on target for at least until November, right? They got to stay out there at least a year if the president needs that. Narrative fatigue.
Is that on his dime, by the way? That missile system thing?
I'm guessing it's you and my dime because it comes out of that DOW budget, right? That $1 trillion budget.
And it runs on like magic gas that's cheap and stuff, right? It probably doesn't cost a lot of money to operate that or keep that around, right?
Fossil fuel, homie. Fossil fuel. What is it?
Well, gas prices are low right now because Trump, we're winning. Hesher, we're winning.
Yeah. Let's see here. What is okay? I thought this would just be worth mentioning. Oops. Ooh, error in the browser. Watch out. Gotta fix that. Stop screen. There we go. Share screen. Sometimes this system does that. I don't know why. I think I overload it with tabs and it just goes. Ugh. So the world now global disaster tracker for earthquake, fires, volcanoes, floods, and severe weather. Now, I don't know what to say about any of these individual events, but if you look around, we've got different icons for weather events, right? We can zoom in. There's the United States right there with all its weather events marked either red or orange. And if you float over them and click them, they'll tell you what they are. A lot of them are storms that may or may not be interesting, but look at all these ones here. We've got earthquakes happening along this line right here from Anchorage all the way out towards 100 or 204 kilometers west of Anchorage. There's a big line of them, and going all the way over to Russia. That's an interesting lineup of natural stuff happening. Notice the lack of these things in China, India, most of Russia, and Africa. Look at that. Africa's got nothing. I don't know. Maybe they just don't track them in those countries. Europe's only got 4 blips on it, but dang.
They're anti-weather. They don't believe in weather there.
Yeah. Clearly, we here in the United States believe in weather and climate change. I mean, we got a lot going on. But yeah, pretty, I don't know. It seems like an elevated amount of these type of notifications happening. Am I tripping about that, Ruckus? Or does it seem to be like a lot of earthquakes happening and a lot of weird disastery things happening?
Yeah, and a lot of people are noticing some strange patterns, we'll just say, involving some of them, and correlating some of the current disasters to old ones. The stuff's all over the place, but some of it's quite compelling. Some of it's very interesting. For instance, which one was it up in? Was it Seattle? One of some of these, I don't know, some of these neighborhoods you learn, they collide some of these other stories we were talking about. I mean, allegedly, there are certain areas that have suddenly mysteriously burst into flames recently that before that happened were actually pushing back against things like flock cameras and data centers. But I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Right.
Again, allegedly. But yeah, so there's all those types of stories. We have countries that seem to be a thorn in the side of certain geopolitical giants, let's just say. And, oh shit, look at that. They just had a massive earthquake. Man, what happened there? Yeah, it's just weird stuff's going on, people. You got wildfires in Canada, you got wildfires in the Europe, things that are just popping and burning and shaking.
Spokane, Washington area. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was not good. And that turned out to be an arsonist, I believe the official
allegedly. No way it could possibly be a drone flying around shooting at a stream of fire, right?
No. Wyoming, the ground shakes every day. Is that new? Is that normal? What can you tell us how long that's been going on? Is it just always that way?
Maybe.
Yeah, one might wonder. Or the Boring Company, perhaps, digging giant tunnels between places like Denver and I don't know, the ballroom, maybe. Just I don't know. People might be thinking that. Who knows?
Boring Company's not the only one who digs tunnels, Hesher.
Oh yeah, of course. They just make a lot of money doing it. Government's been doing it forever. I mean, how long? I think when we were conspiracy research newbies, deep underground bases was the thing for a few weeks, right? We used to absorb all these things in a few weeks. But yeah, that's been going on.
In retrospect, that was pretty dumb.
Yeah, those dumps.
DUM.
Dumb,
right? That's what they were, right? The dumbs.
Yep, the dumbs.
Yeah, crazy.
There's our follow-up. I noticed more now, but back to the 1970s, it was regular. Interesting. I don't know much about Wyoming geology. Maybe you've got fault lines in the common there, because we had a lot of those in California. I've been in a number of gnarly earthquakes, and so is Spore's family. Spore's dad was the last person across the Bay Bridge when it broke in the big earthquake they had there. The bridge literally, he was driving a cargo van over the bridge, and the bridge popped out like this and knocked the back of the van up and landed him on the lower section that it just broke off. It was literally the last car that made it over that bridge. So yeah, and I was in a Hilton in San Diego on the 20-something floor during one of them. That was probably the worst one I ever experienced, because those buildings have springs in the bottom of them. if they're made correctly so that they can flex. Ooh, that is not a good ride. Let me tell you, as someone who's been on a lot of roller coasters, I did not like that ride. That was not cool.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever felt an earthquake.
Oh, you're lucky. They're actually freaking terrifying. Tremors wasn't just a film. There we go, Huffman Aviation. Thank you. I needed something to pull me out of where my mind was going. I love that movie. It's so good. Classic. It's got to be the graboids. The graboids are moving around under the earth and causing all this, right? All right, we're down to our last 3 topics here or so, Ruckus. So first off,
Quick fire. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, I think we mentioned this on Sunday Wire a few weeks ago, but we haven't actually talked about it here in the boiler room, and that is the fact that Hunter Biden is going around doing a popular podcast media junket. Holy crap. That is like yet another major PR rebranding, right? Think about all these people with all these narratives around them, all these people that change sides to be on the Trump team, Tulsi Gabbard, all these people, right? I smell a massive PR and A&R push on Hunter Biden right now. It's maddening. Like they're quite literally using the Candace Tucker level, probably Joe Rogan next level of podcasters to rebrand Hunter Biden or allow Hunter Biden to rebrand himself. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre, man.
Why?
Like, why is this happening? What is it a harbinger for? So, for those of you that don't watch the CIA tier podcasters, Tucker Carlson's Hunter Biden interview, this is out of Newsweek. They've got their 5 key takeaways. So, here's all your Hunter Biden reframing in a nutshell. Hunter Biden calls Donald Trump an existential threat. Well, what perfect timing for him to do that on the Tucker Carlson show. I'm not going to bother reading any of this stuff. It's worth watching, even if you don't like watching that tier of podcasters and this kind of psyop. But this is a staggering level right here. Here's the second big takeaway. Hunter Biden calls Benjamin Netanyahu, quote unquote, evil incarnate while discussing criticism of Israel and the war in Gaza. Can you imagine that? Imagine if he had done that right after October 7. Would that have flown? I'm just asking for a friend. Would that have flown? I already know it wouldn't have because we were saying that and we got all kinds of flack and blowback from that. Absolutely insane. And look at this. He's even stealing some of the rhetoric that has been created in alternative and independent media. This is a quote from Biden, okay? This is a quote from Hunter Biden. If it's anti-Semitic to point out that Bibi Netanyahu is evil incarnate, then I don't know what to say to people anymore. All you have to do is just open your eyes, open your heart for 1 minute. Dude, where were you with this stuff after October 7? Where were you with this stuff when the first bombs started falling in Gaza? I mean, people are wondering. Here's the feel sorry for Hunter part. Hunter Biden says he still owes lawyers $4 to $6 million. Oh, wah wah.
Can we donate to his Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something?
Probably.
Can we buy some art?
Uh-huh. And this is one of the most interesting parts. Ruckus, you and I were talking about this before the show. Hunter Biden gives detailed defense of laptop. And to watch Hunter Biden, it's so funny because, like, if you go back to when this was all, breaking, what was that, 2021, 2022, big time in 2022 in usage for the midterms, and then ridden all the way up to the 2024 presidential election and used as an election point during that. Why he no say anything during all that? Why he no go on Tucker and Candace during all that? Oh, right, because Tucker and Candace were still supporting Donald Trump at that time. So there was that. That would have been inconvenient. But he's basically saying that, to paraphrase here, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just trying to not have to read from the article right now, but he's basically saying that he did not drop a laptop off at the computer repair shop, and that whole how the laptop was sourced was fake and a psyop, and he suspects that a foreign government hacked all his stuff and provided it to intelligence agencies here, or I don't know if he was specific about who it was supplied to. The media, I think he was just referring to like oh, the media works organically, and some intelligence agents from our greatest ally in the Middle East must have downloaded all my emails from the cloud. That's how they got it. And then they made a fake story about him being so cracked out that he didn't remember leaving his laptop with that guy. Have I summed that up?
And yeah, and Tucker at some point, I don't know which one, were they playing off of each other or which, but yeah, the Israel issue entered the room quite unexpectedly, as it were, because Tucker volunteered that while he was working at Fox, and I'm also paraphrasing here, that according to him, that Israel was somehow involved in pressuring some sort of narrative involving the laptop and the Russia thing. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. Again, like speaking of, well, how come this is the first time we're all hearing about this? Interesting timing coming from two very interesting people. Mm-hmm. Is Hunter Biden going to join this new party? Is that the shit? Maybe
that would be my guess. That's what I walked away thinking. Like, oh, okay, so he's now he's being pulled into the little
he's one CIA of the cool kids now
podcaster and dissident MAGA group. You know, he's going to fit right in. And he was also talking about how he was like, he's been sober for 8 years. And it's like, dude, you've been sober for 8 years. And in the last 4 years, 5 years, you've like been accused of all this stuff, all the like pictures and memes and naked photos.
We had to see the dude's junk, bro. We had to see the dude's junk. Okay,
exactly.
We can't erase this stuff from our brains, and they're pushing this guy out there now. What's going on here?
No, it's
some sort of weird humiliation ritual or something.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's for people that have eyes to see and ears to hear. Here's the exact quote from Tucker on that, just so we're analyzing the facts here. Carlson said he believed the laptop material attributed to Hunter Biden was real, but disputed the standard origin story and claimed that people, quote, connected to Benjamin Netanyahu, end quote, not the Russians, had tried to circulate allegations from it to him while he was at Fox News. And Tucker said, quote, the laptop is real. I thought that from day one. But the way that it entered the bloodstream of American media was not real. He later added, quote, the allegation came from the Israelis. I'm just telling you that they came to me with that, end quote.
What the F is that?
Dude, it's psyops wrapped in psyops, like time-released psyops. These are time-released psyops that the only reason I could think that he hadn't said anything, and I'm just wargaming here, but the only reason I can think that he hasn't defended himself until now, and notice he's doing the same thing that all these other grifters that were like MAGA supporter, top tier MAGA supporters did. They started doing long form podcasts first. That's where they start. That's where the rebranding starts. Couple viral videos, some social media posts, and then boom, long form podcasts.
Who started this trend? Obama?
Look, they even ask in Newsweek. I'm sure they frame it with total garbage, but here's the big question. Why Hunter Biden is appearing on conservative podcasts? Sean Ryan's show, right? I think that was the first one. CIA tier podcaster. Literally.
He's like, so he's not the final boss. He's the casting couch guy.
Yeah, pretty much, because he went from there to Candace to Tucker.
Interesting.
Yeah. And how many stories and PR things have we seen laundered on the Sean Ryan podcast? I can't stand
I
to watch
wouldn't
it.
know because
so-
I refuse to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched enough of it to start identifying them, but I can do that through clips. I cannot sit through one of those episodes. I don't know how people do that.
I think my favorite was the one with Gavin Newsom and Sean Ryan gave him the Sig Sauer. That was great.
I'm trying to not use profanity tonight. Don't bring that up. I have nothing.
Oh, are we? I'm sorry. You should have warned me about that.
I'm just saying I'm trying. I'm seeing if it's even possible for me at this point with this kind of news. It's really not a big deal. But yeah, I don't even care why Newsweek thinks this is happening, because they're going to frame it in a way that leads exactly to where we think it's going, which is he's going to be somehow involved in this splinter cell of MAGA, the MAGA dissidents, or whatever the hell they're going to end up calling themselves.
They should just call it that. The Splinter Party.
Right?
Why
not? Okay, let's see here. So we've got that one. And then I want to also talk briefly about this whole thing that happened today in the media. I'm sure you probably, hopefully, didn't watch this, Ruckus, but I watched some of it. Candace Owens versus Andrew Wilson over the Charlie Kirk
I was
topic.
really hoping to just completely. No, I'm not tracking this at all.
All I'm going to say, I hope this is all I'm going to say. This whole thing, the whole TPUSA versus Candace thing, I smell a huge rat here. This has gone way too far. They're dragging it into like debate series stuff now. Candace Owens telling, like, first off, this Andrew Wilson guy, I know some of our colleagues actually know him. I don't know him. I've only seen him a couple of times on these like mega debate streams, usually because I just want to see what Jay is doing. And sometimes Jay Dyer's in some of these. They're becoming like very, very popular. Like the Whatever podcast is one example, but there's a whole new series, a couple of them that are popping up and competing with each other. And it's like, no holds barred sort of thing. And Andrew Wilson is, he's apparently a name in that little circuit there. And his thing right now is that he's still MAGA. I mean, if I'm understanding it from what I've seen, it's like he still supports this administration, which I just find bizarre. But whatever, there are people like that out there. But it was like he offered her $300,000 to have a debate with him. She counter offers with $500,000 and a couple other stipulations. And then they argue about it online and share their text messages for a week, and which makes for great promotion. It had a massive amount of views today, and I couldn't even look at it. I could not even watch it. It was unwatchable to me. Totally unwatchable. That's all I'm going to say. It provided nothing. It added nothing to the conversation. And this conversation about Charlie Kirk, I don't even like being involved in it. I don't even like commenting on it. We don't know enough about this, and we're never going to know enough about this to have debates. So I guess Candace made $500,000 today. I guess there's enough fans of her and Andrew Wilson out there to crowdsource that kind of money. I highly doubt he had that kind of money to throw in. Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe this whole thing is the cash cow. But yeah.
Amazing that like an event that everybody got to see on camera or it happened live, whatever the narrative is that they want to put in your head. Like, it's out there. We've all seen the video. I'll just put it that way, right? knowing that video's out there, we've all seen it. It's like you just said, we don't know and we'll never know. Isn't that amazing? Even though it's like right there in your face for you to see. It's so crazy that's one of these incidents that are actually high profile and filmed and caught on camera. It like winds up being that we know the least about what really happened. Same thing with the ear piercing thing, just saying.
Yeah. I think that we are being exposed to some BS, some bull honky from all of these CIA tier podcasters. And I'm not throwing accusations that any of them even know what the heck they're doing. These people have millions of dollars. They have teams. They have lawyers. They have managers. They have producers. They have line producers. They have editors. They have researchers. And that all sounds real nice if you're like Ruckus and I, and you're trying to do everything yourself to have an online presence and make a professional looking show. But if you have a team that big around you and you have that many viewers and your government is willing to waste taxpayer dollars to infiltrate protest groups over data centers, you better bet your ass they're willing to infiltrate these levels of broadcasters. And you also better bet your ass this type of broadcasting is way easier to manipulate than the old style. Way easier. So I don't know what else to say about it, but I don't trust the whole thing. My problem is you can't even prove to me that guy's dead, which is probably an unpopular thing for many people to hear, but I have not seen a conclusive autopsy. I have not seen footage that makes any sense. And I see a lot of noise around it, and it's all politically charged. It's all personality charged. The amount of facts are not worth debating, especially not worth debating over $500,000. And who's this is the funniest part. Who's mediating this thing? Do you have a guess on who's mediating this, Ruckus?
Grok.
We'll do you one better. Pat Bet David.
Oh, stop.
Mr. Israel himself. Pat Bet David is the moderator for this debate.
What a joke. What a clown show. Who pays for this? Who funds this? So it's like Candace takes, and these people are ridiculous. I hate all this.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. It's just insane. But yeah,
these people are they're very interested in getting to the truth. They're interested in saving our country. It's just a little side thing that they can make a shit ton of money grifting off of each other and their audience. But whatever. Hey, buy my t-shirt. Yay.
Yeah. Right.
Could I interest you in a boner pill, anybody? Just saying.
We're going to pause and have a break from the wellness company right now. Yeah.
Oh, whoa, bro. Careful now.
Well, they did. They actually did. So I'm just analyzing, just reporting what I saw. All right, let's get away from that hive of stupidity and dead ends. Last one for me, Ruckus. And this one is a little bit older now, but we didn't really get to talk about it. We mentioned it briefly last week, but cybersecurity attacks on water systems. Oh, what fresh HE double hockey sticks is this? At least 12 states face cyber attacks on their water systems. Sources say possible cyber intrusions targeting water and wastewater utilities have now been reported in at least a dozen states. Multiple sources told the ABC News. Here we go. If you didn't see it coming, here it is. Iran is the prime suspect in the cyber attacks, which can blind utility operators by changing passwords or disabling alarms, according to the sources, though its involvement has not been officially confirmed. I'm just going to stop right there because all we got are sources and no official confirmation. Not that we would trust it if we had it. And no widespread disruptions to water supplies or wastewater treatment so far. So they want everybody scared that Iran is going to shut the water off, and that Iran is going to assassinate President Trump, I guess, right? Just Iran, Iran, Iran. What happened to Russia, Russia, Russia? They're doing Iran, Iran, Iran.
It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easily, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah, and a lot of these stories coming out about, in particular, the water sector. So they keep repeating that. So again, pay attention to the water stuff. Yet, interestingly enough, in the past 24 to 36 hours or so, the news is also something about Trump he wants to allow private firms here in the United States to themselves enact cyber attacks against quote unquote criminal organizations, whatever the hell that means. So yes, we're moving into the whole cyber attack. This is crazy, bro. But and also AI. So that all around the world, and not just here. But I think a few of the water attacks, maybe also a power structure attack just recently. There's a lot of attacks happening right now with these stuff. AI is involved. They're saying that AI was used in a number of these things, so they're weaving that all together too. Because they're trying to build this giant hype scare over the AI being capabilities, and they want to take it away from us, lock it down, so the companies can charge a shit ton of money to the businesses and crowd everybody out. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here at play. But yeah, part of the scare tactic is the hacks are coming. It's Iran, and they used AI, and it escaped, and it was probably China's model or whatever. It's all coming together into one giant what the F is going on, Hesher. But water is a very important, precious resource, and we should not be so willy-nilly allowing the data centers to be using so much of it if our enemies allegedly are attacking our precious infrastructure, the H2O. So yeah, it's all bad timing, right? Let's not forget what I said earlier about Bill Gates at the same time mentioning how everybody's going to die because of lack of water, whatever that means.
Yeah. So
what does he know anyway?
it makes one want to question who's doing more damage to the water supply here in the United States, Iran or corporate America? Iran or the Department of War? Iran or Nestle? Iran or some other corporation, right? Iran or your own local city council, your local data center? Who's really effing your water? How much of that is done by cyber attacks overseas? I don't know. That's all I got on the docket tonight, Ruckus. What about you?
Oh no, I'm done, son. No idea.
All right. Well,
I don't even have my notes in front of me or nothing. I have no clue. So whatever.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna do it then. Thanks for being here tonight, Ruckus. We'll shut it down.
Sounds good to me. Let me just double, triple check here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, I think we actually hit everything that we wanted to discuss tonight. How about that? So in case we missed anything, we'll probably be covering it on Sunday Wire this weekend, as I believe you are guest hosting, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Join us for Sunday Wire. That'll be live on Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. UK time. We'll be live.
Wow, you had the times ready and everything. Good job. So the other stuff that we may have missed here and we don't cover on Sunday Wire, you might catch me covering alongside Sam Chaney at some point next week, because I do an appearance there once a week, usually on Wednesday or Thursdays. I think Thursday nights are my regular nights now. So check out Weaponized News for that. You can always just go to the website, alternatecurrentradio.com, and check out my replays under Roundabout Ruckus. And while you're there, check out the replays of Sunday Wire, Boiler Room. And, of course, we do post up there Mystical American Patriot Society and the Odd Man Out podcast. So make sure you're heading over to Alternate Current Radio for all of that stuff, right, Hesher? I'm going to bounce now. I'll leave you all with Bill Cooper's quote that I love so much. Read everything, listen to everybody, but don't believe anything unless you prove it for yourself using your own research. Ruckus out.
All right. Thanks, Ruckus. appreciate you, man, and appreciate you for watching the show out there. All our friends in the chat. I did my best to keep up, but I know I missed a lot of good stuff, so I'll have to go back and make sure I didn't miss anything. We'll get all the notes on the show page for you tonight. It's already up there with most of our reference links, although a whole boatload more have been added since I posted it. Our website is alternatecurrentradio.com. Get on over there if you want to support us. You can drop PayPal, you can drop crypto, you can buy shirts, you can do whatever. You can buy Ruckus a coffee. We got all those kind of links up there. Or just share the show. We always appreciate that too. And as we wind it down here, tonight we've talked about surveillance, we've talked about algorithms, artificial intelligence, infrastructure, war, corporations, intelligence agencies, all these systems that increasingly operate somewhere behind the scenes. Not that it's not that the technology is the real problem. It's not that the technology exists. It's not that every algorithm is sinister. And it's not that every institution is conspiring against you. It's that we're increasingly being asked to trust systems that we can't see, governed by rules we didn't write, making decisions we can't examine. And somewhere along the way, participation became consent. That's why tonight's show is named what it is. Participation becoming consent. Use the app. Accept the update. Scan the code. Give us your data. Trust the intelligence. Trust the algorithm. Trust the experts. Trust the machine. Just click accept. But consent isn't supposed to work that way, my friend. You don't surrender your responsibility to ask questions because somebody buried the consequences on page 47 of a user agreement. And you don't surrender your responsibility as a citizen because somebody tells you the machinery is too complicated for you to understand. So I guess read the fine print. Question the algorithm. Question the government. Question the corporation. Question the media. And while you're at it, question us too. Some of you are doing it out there right now. Opposition research, highly approved. I learn a lot. I don't know everything. That's for dang sure. Because the alternative is letting somebody else decide what's true, what things cost, what you're allowed to see, and eventually what you're allowed to do. I don't know if eventually even needs to be there. Seems like we're kind of there. Ask the journalists at the New York Times. The machinery is getting smarter and smaller. That means we better get smarter too. I'm Hesher. This has been Boiler Room. Terms and conditions apply. We'll see you next time.
That's it. Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.